Hello, good morning, happy Friday. Thank you so much for joining me for another Saints and Angels Oracle deck reading for our week to come. We are at the first Friday of September, so not only will I have one card for this week, but we'll also pull a new card from the tarot deck to see what our theme for the entire month is. So thanks for joining me here today. And if you are brand new, I do these readings every Friday. Thanks for joining. If you are a reoccurring friend and audience member, thank you so much for coming and back to see these readings every week. I really appreciate everyone who comes and gets so much out of them, because I get a lot out of them myself, so wonderful to see and hear from others who enjoy not just, the reading or sitting down here in the meditation and everything, but their own insights into the cards too is always so wonderful to hear and see and be involved in. So thank you to everyone who has sent me emails and or messages about your takes on cards and about your weeks. I really appreciate and love you. Yeah. Starting off today with that, I guess. Let's get down to business, I guess. Feel a threshold energy, going on. So it'll be interesting to see what the cards pick up on and what the card has to say, because, it's that wonderful time of year, the shifting between seasons, the slowing down here in the Northern Hemisphere where I am, of course. But there's this kind of gateway or threshold, this kind of waiting in between feel to the air. So I'm excited to see what we'll have in store for us. I'm going to lead us through just a quick little meditation just to become a good audience, to be able to really absorb the meanings of the cards. Oh, my camera's probably dying. I hope I turned a little pink. The tinging's coming back. I knew it's been too long since this started to happen. Forgive me. And I can't control the lack of quality of my laptop camera. So if I look like I'm pink in a filter, I don't have a filter on. It's not intentional, and I hope it's not too distracting. But thank you for being here through the kind of hiccups and things. Hopefully it doesn't keep going, because sometimes it dims out and then it goes to a black screen, and it ruins the video. So obviously, hopefully that does not happen. But anyways, let's get going so that we can manage our time in a good way, right? So yeah, let's do a meditation. Get centered, focus on what we're here to do, and then we'll obviously pull the cards. Okay. I'm going to close my eyes and lead us through. You're welcome to watch the video if closing your eyes is uncomfortable or inconvenient for whatever reason for you right now. That's perfectly fine. And also, this isn't like hypnosis either, so if you're doing something else, that's totally okay. You can just listen to my words and allow them to open your heart, allow them to settle you into the moment, ground you down into your reality, and just to center and become patient and quiet. Hard things to do sometimes, right? So let's close down our eyes if you can, or relax your gaze gently. And let's just take a few breaths on our own, at your own pace, whatever feels necessary to land here now. Allowing that breath to lead the way. Maybe even tapping into an audible breath for a few. Hearing the song of your breath. Noticing how quiet or loud it is today. Not trying to change or force anything. But just taking stock. Witnessing, allowing, accepting. If it's difficult for you to hear your breath through your busy mind, that's okay. Release the thoughts and think of the ocean. Visualize yourself standing next to the ocean. Blue skies and blue waters as far as the eye can see. To the horizon, a straight line, somehow separating water from sky. Let your breath become the waves you hear. Crashing on the shore, drawing away, rolling into another wave, to crash and meet the surf, to meet your feet, perhaps. Sink in to the moment, just like your feet sink into the sand. Let that cool air be felt as the cool air riding through your nostrils. The warmth of that exhale, like the crashing warm foam, the light waters that reach your feet, the sand, the sun, the heat. Take a moment to feel your own small presence at the foot of this massive ocean, the even grander sky. Feel small in your standing, not belittled or unseen, but meaningful like a small, tiny child. They're the center of the focus of the grandparents. Let yourself feel their weight of time, their seniority, their grandeur. Soak into it. Know that you are held in this meaningful place, held within the sands, just as ancient as the ocean, as the sky. just as plentiful as our beautiful family of humanity is. Feel that deep connection and purpose as you breathe with the sky, the ocean, the clouds, the wind. Feel the water, not just beneath you, but perhaps that bits of water caught in the wind that splash your face. Tap into that gratitude. See yourself interlocked in this web of life, of movement and sharing, of sound and feelings. Turn the volume up on our last few breaths here. Really allowing that sound of the ocean, that constant rhythm, to not just be from outside of you or within you, to interlace its fingers in a wonderful, compassionate, interlocking, hand-holding. Feel the oneness. Feel yourself held in that image, in that promise that is. Feel your timelessness, your eternity in this spot. Take a moment to give thanks for your position and for your knowledge. Feel grateful for knowing your interlocked position in our beautiful world. See how your breath mirrors the waves, or the waves mirror your breath. Just as the wind mirrors the waves, or is it your breath? Lock in that oneness, that entanglement, that netting that holds you and our world together. Perhaps you'd like to bring your hands together in prayer at your heart, or feel them more firmly in your lap as you wiggle your fingers and toes and prepare to come back to the moment. Lock in this state of gratitude, of unity, of harmony. Give yourself thanks as I thank you for sitting in this practice, for upholding the truth in position and standing, for locking into the oneness, and for helping to remind yourself and the collective of our unity and wholeness. prepare to ring my bowl as we open our eyes. Okay, so I'll take out first the tarot deck and we will see what we have for a message for our month here for September. We would like to thank these beautiful cards. God, Source, Mother Earth, saints, angels, our higher selves, ancestors, ascended masters, all of those beings with higher frequencies and densities who are just as much a part of our journey here as we are. We thank you for your energy. We thank you for your observation. And we ask if you could please provide us through these cards a working, a lesson, an anchor, a prize for us, a treasure for us to hold for this whole month long, that we could look upon and work through, work towards, or work on, individually and collectively. We thank you. Thank you, thank you. Okay, shuffle them up. Ooh, ooh. They're excited. Oh, I just dropped them all. No, we don't. Okay, let's take it down. Nothing better than to be surprised by things that you think you know. And now we have a total divine realignment happening. I have absolute chaos here. Oh, and this is okay. This is what falls out of the chaos, the Hierophant. You can't make this stuff up. Five on 5 in the 9 month. Okay. The Hierophant is part of the Major Arcana. If you're unfamiliar with traditional tarot, the Major Arcana is a grander view of climactic themes that have already built and culminated off of the Minor Arcana. Now, I won't go too long or too much into the histories and the change arounds and different decks that have different placements and different names for the Hierophant, of course. But I'm going to take out my own personal notes here just for a minute. And I know there's a couple of terms here, excuse me, that I know I should read from here. I'm just going to read out my own kind of personal terms, some quick terms and phrases first, if they catch your ear, if they catch your eye. If they are sparkly to you, they're the key here. And then afterwards, I'll give a little bit of my own. Spiritual person or moral support needed, professional guidance perhaps, could be needed for this situation. Could be signifying energetic need for spiritual guidance or support. A message to seek out a person who fits the mold of the Hierophant. Established, known, this is for the self. To be establishing known religious, spiritual, or mental enlightenment, atonement, immunity, ceremony, sacrifice, ritualistic counsel, guardianship. Very traditional in some ways. Things that fit the mold. So that's sort of a two-part different ideas of how this card fits into different explanations, different scenarios. we have a very external version that could be saying, and both of these things can be very much true. We can have in between. We can have, this is just points of reference, not to say that they're cemented down or anything like that. But there's a questioning and a prompt, a divide, whether or not this card signifies and can to us tell us that external help will be needed, will be very beneficial, would be throughout the month coming in to you from external sources. And the external sources themselves will be this more traditional version of what we consider to be the Hierophant or the Pope. That sort of dogmatic, ritual, religion-esque type of traditional authority figure. One who's been through stages of initiation in those traditional cattle corrals, sort of, that have signature standing. And perhaps, and lots of times those signature standings, traditional things, they have great purpose for individuals, depending on where we are in our journey and what is needed for us. And so it could be things that come from external world, or that you need to seek out within an external world, to go test out those things, and see what those types of traditional authority figures say, or have as assistance or replies to any sort of inquiries that you have or struggles that you're facing. Or even if if it's not so much struggle based or problematic issues, but more of that you're looking for betterment, that you're looking for a change, that you're looking for something different. Don't think that the old ways aren't going to be new for you, because sometimes they very much are, and it all depends on our walk up in the world. So I would say to be sort of releasing any sort of pre-assumptions or these sort of restrictive ideas that you might have, or we might have, I might have, around more traditional settings and figureheads, but instead seeing or listening for what they could offer forth back to us. The secondary version of this is perhaps that you are reflecting the Hierophant energies. Perhaps you have been through culmination of initiations, and you have this platform that you feel you've stepped up onto, or that you will be stepping into in this month to come here. And it could be traditional, it could be making your own way in these things, because when we go into traditions, or when you go and speak to anybody who has actually gone through these different verifications, different ways to become a point of authority in a church or in a spiritual teaching, or even different versions of church, like the sacred universities and their degrees and all of their rituals that they go through. They put a spiritual-esque, religious type of belief into those places and structures, even though they don't want to say they do, or they want to deny it, or they want to put a different term or label on their commitment to academia. It really is the same thing as a belief in any religion, and it requires just as much faith, and it requires just as much what's the word? Time, commitment. But anyways, it could be more of a seemingly 3D, a seemingly materialistic, almost not spiritual-esque vibe to it. But that doesn't mean that it's not there. If it feels like that's there for you, it very much could be there for you. And so it can be sometimes even breaking sort of the traditional mold, and yet you're still in that position of authority, but you had to have made it your own to get that degree. You have to actually integrate the knowledge in your own personal ways and break the mold, so to speak, even if you have gone through more of these sort of strict points, doorways to go through. we are each individual, and so there's always a very individual sort of path to be had. So yeah, making the traditional unique, perhaps, or using your uniqueness to revamp tradition. And especially here, I'll just say at the last thing, because we're 5 on 5, that I'm going to talk about numerology for just a minute, about 5 being not just about chaotic switch-ups, and not just about being this sort of twist or sort of anyways, I'm not going to try to find any more words. I'm like too early this morning and yet to finish even my first cup of coffee. So, meaning to say that 5 is usually shake-ups and catalysts. 5 in itself, I love to see also as its own divine reflection of creator consciousness, of infinite intelligence, of God, source intelligence at work. Because when we see 5 accumulate, it's 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. It has the 0 always coming through as a balance to its odd 5. And that in itself, 0 is like the portal of the eye of the creator, right? And so when we see this, it's like a breath of fresh air that comes in with the change. And yeah, the change in itself is disruptive. Yeah, it might, the breeze might shake up everything in the room. It might take around the whole, like books and papers and all types of things might fly around in this number 5, hurricane breeze that comes in. That would be a typical kind of 5. But the breath of the creator is riding with that 5. It brought in the chaos for a reason, to test the 4 and to also showcase space for 6, perseverance, to come through. And so with that breath and with that, it might make your room a mess, but you might find that one piece of paper, that note that you've been looking for forever, or that you might come cleaning up and find something in there that was meant to be, that changes your whole sight, that gives you the strength to move forward, to 5 always has a great purpose with the whatever disruptive circumstances are pushing through with its oddities. And it's always a balancing mechanism. And the Hierophant to sit in number 5 is so beautiful in itself, because unfortunately, as we see with traditional church and anybody in position of power, there is the great opportunity to abuse it. There is a huge veil within, even we'll just talk about traditional church, that has some really nasty stuff hidden behind it. We have really shadow and light aspects even of the Hierophant, that a lot of people want to put blinders on and pretend that someone who has such spiritual accumulation and such knowledge of God's source, that we usually tag along with Pope, a Hierophant, a Guru, a Buddha, Rishi, or whatever we want to look at as all of these sort of higher culminated beings. We want to say they're only light. We want to say that shadow doesn't reach that high, that, they don't have any, that they could never possibly bend their light in a manipulative manner. But in fact, that becomes a greater opportunity for that, unfortunately. And so when they do bend over and they do seek to gratify in a self-serving manner, a darker, deeper shadow is created. It's larger, and it accumulates a larger space for more others to be trapped and caught up in their negative serving self-systems, because they've come from a higher point of a pillared hierarchy, right? So, I mean, the physics of light speaks for itself kind of there. But also when we can tag in truth and lies into these shadow and light understandings and know that they do follow suit, it does make sense. We can explain one with the other quite obviously. We can learn a lot from both ideas when we look at them together. And so just like the 5 is toss-up, it's chaotic, you stand on a pillar here, but it's very easy for you to fall off. So be mindful of that wherever in your standing that you are. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I've talked for this long. It's already half an hour. Let's get into our weekly card here and see what the wonderful saints and angels have to speak on for our week here. Thank you, wonderful saints and angels, God, Source, Mother Earth, all of those beings with love in their bodies, in their frequencies. Excuse me, I have a tickle in my throat. We thank you and we acknowledge your energy, your observations, witnessing our journey here, just as much a part of it as we are. We ask if you could please offer through these wonderful cards anchor point, a North Star, something that we can tap into and work through in this wonderful first full week in September here, 2025, on the 5th, underneath our new theme, the Hierophant. We thank you in advance for your wisdom and your love, and we ask for one card here for our week to come, individually and collectively. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, now to shuffle them up. Popping out. Ooh, I'm going with it. Okay, confidence, Archangel Michael. We've had this card recently. And I think having confidence, like I've said, like I was speaking about the Hierophant and how we gauge where we're standing, how we can honor our light and stand tall in it, and have confidence that what we're doing is the right thing, you know? There we go. Oh, perhaps it's been a little while, actually. Yes. So, but here's the thing. Confidence with Saint Michael on 5/23, on May 23rd, was actually repeats themselves from April and March. So we have March, April, May, and now here for September, for the start of September. I have a sense of seasons, of the quads, and of culminations of lessons and things that were bubbling in those months, to hold those things which were coming up there, and that perhaps we were giving ourselves little bits of confidence, or that those cards back then had this sort of messages for us, to hear them and to see how they're matching up to this month, to this week here, and perhaps even to bringing in more of that Hierophant spiritual energy into those projects, those ideas, those askings or seekings, frequencies and flavors that you were going through in that sort of March, April, May triad of months there. What a strong, it's such a strong culmination. It's that spring section here in the Northern Hemisphere, of course. But even if you're in the Southern Hemisphere, it's that medial shift between polar opposites, right? It's that under the lukewarm understanding of what's needed for transition, for a full blossoming to come forth, or for a full winding down and closing to come out, right? So either we're looking for closure and solidification of those things that were perhaps winding down or coming to full culmination in those 3 months, or perhaps there are things that were birthing and blooming and coming in, well, not blooming, but coming into, sprouting at those times, which now we're seeing full bloom, time for harvest, kind of energy. So yeah, I'm gonna read Confidence out of the book, and we're a little longer, so I'm just gonna keep going with it. It's a little longer video today. Page 25, 2. 5 times 5 is 25. Yes. See, just these little tiny points of recognition that, to me, I see sparkle, and I see it's like a wink from the Creator. It's like a little tap on the shoulder, a little hug, a little nudge, a little, yes, you get it, you're on the right track. These things are patterns. They are connected. It does matter. Exponential growth as well, having with beautiful squaring and the reminder of what it is to double something evenly. Even in the doubling, though, hides the infinite Creator, because even with a perfect square, 1 by 1 in the perfect square, we still have that diagonal that doesn't make any sense, right? We still have the square root of 2 hiding in there. And, perhaps I'll speak a little bit more on that later, on math and geometries, and I think I will probably make a video on that coming up later. Already on an organic math trip, and my channel, if you do follow my channel, I have sort of a series already going about numbers and sequential growth. So perhaps I'll let this lead the way to speak a bit about exponential growth, doubling, geometries. Anyways, let's read the book here. Archangel Michael is with you, shoring up your confidence so that you can fearlessly face and even enjoy the tasks before you. This archangel is protecting you against negativity, helping you to remain optimistic, filled with faith, and ensuring that only people in situations of high integrity come to you. Thank you. Have confidence in God's power to keep you safe and secure. As you enter into a new phase of your life, it's natural to feel intimidated by change. You may worry whether you're prepared or qualified for what's ahead of you. Remember, though, that God won't bring anything that you're not unable to do. Heaven also ensures that you have powerful companions, such as Archangel Michael, to help you in all ways. Archangels are the overseers of our personal guardian angels, and Michael's name means he who is like God. He's described in both biblical testaments as a prince and depicted as fighting against lower energies in order to protect us all. Many people report miraculous rescues and protection as a result of calling upon him. And for that reason, he is the patron saint of police officers, security guards, and sailors. Saint Michael, the Archangel, will help you feel safe and confident if you call upon him. I love that. What a beautiful message to go along with everything that I've said, and for this first sort of real whole week into September, to have confidence shoring us up, and to have a wonderful external. And again, I'm just going to go with this. What an external representation of the higher authority point is Archangel Michael. And also, as I'll just tie into what I said before about the shadow and light aspects, and about the fact that even archangels are called forth to do battle. He holds a sword, it's not to be a weapon of attack, to cause harm, not to be abusive in it, but to hold it as a great reminder of the power of the truth, and to, in itself, just be a threat is all that is needed, a reminder of the great power that your sword is, that it never needs to actually be used as a physical weapon when we wield it correctly, when we stand in confidence in that kind of way. And so, leave it there. Thanks so much for sitting with me for a little bit of a longer one here. First reading for September. I hope I'll see you next week. If you have anything, I'd love to hear it. So please leave comments below, send me messages or emails. Always love to hear people's takes and feelings on the cards, how they impact them, how your month goes. So feel free to leave me any messages like that. Otherwise, hope to see you next Friday. Have a wonderful rest of your day and a beautiful weekend. And bye for now.